Hello everyone, in our today's video we're gonna create that a beautiful looking portfolio, and here you can see there is a lot of tab over here by which you can navigate whichever component you want to visit. Like I am now in about page, and now here also you can see this whole application consists of three parts. Here that is the little bit a tab bar by which you can toggle through. Then here is another, it's kind of like a introduction about yourself, and you can see there is a typewriter is going on, and also your social media and other components. And this over here you can toggle through without that components. Now this is totally fit for this screen, and later on we're gonna also make it fully responsive for all the devices. And if you click on the resume, you can see you can go to the resume, and in the resume you have experience, education, and here is skills, design skill, or the language capacity you have, the coding experience, and the knowledge you have. You can add a lot of other things. I'm gonna just show you how you can add those things. Now in the projects view you can show up your project, and also you can just click on make a navigate, it will take to the particular site. And after that, if you come to the block, if you have any particular block, you see whenever you're hovering there is effect going on, that can also be very much meaningful. And now in the contact we have our get in touch info, and also one send message button. Now here if I type something, and you can see that error maintaining is going on. Now also I type my email, and this is the message. Whenever I will click, see still there is a kind of like error email validation is going on. You can show the error here. I'm just making it with the border, and once you send it will collect to your name, and see it's giving a success message while this state is going over empty. Now that message we're gonna get using Getform.io. I will show you how you can particularly get the data when someone is giving you. It's a very good endpoint API. And also here in the navbar you can have all the menu available here, and also you can showcase your project portfolio, everything here. So now and also if you see in the download CV, once you click it will open in another tab, and you can give your CV there, just can keep it perfectly. And in the contact you can just put your emergency contact. So all of this today we're gonna build, and to build that what you must need to do, see I already spin a empty project. As you can see it's just running from here, and to run it what you need to do, you need to just make that npx create react app, then your app name, and also then you need to cd your directory, whatever the name you had been given, and then you need to open it at the code. And after opening you need to remove all others accessories, just keeping this 3 file in the source directory. I already add my assets, so you can see the assets over here, but others that 3 directory you remove everything. And for the Tailwind CSS you need to go to in the Tailwind, because I'm gonna use the Tailwind CSS for it. You just go to the framework guides, and also for the create react app, that one you need to install that, and also need to npx that. Just go through that documentation how you can feel comfortable. I have already one video in the back forward, you can see, and it will help you to set up the Tailwind. So now after setting up the Tailwind CSS, now when you're spinning we are getting that one. So first of all, as you may see, this contains an entire div, right? First of all, alongside that initial small state we need to create that top div. Okay, to create that one, so let's start creating that one. First I'm gonna start in my app directory. I will remove all of those things. What I'm gonna do, first I will take my, just keep that one as it's supposed to be. I will work with my Tailwind config.js, because I will use some different font, like it will be Poppins and other fonts. To get the font I will just go in the index CSS. I already collected my font from the Google Fonts, and I can just simply paste it over here. That line you can get from here, like if you go to Google Fonts, And from the font section, like if you want the Roboto, you need to choose that font from here. Like I already choose it there, so whenever you remove, you choose, it will come over here. After choosing that font, however fonts you choose, either you can get the link or you can import. If you are putting in an HTML file, you would get the link, or if you want to put in CSS file, just import that one, as simple as it is. So I already imported my font over here. Now I need to connect that font in my Tailwind config. To do that, in that extend, I can predefine whatever the things I want to do more. First of all, so I want to add the font family. To add the font family, it will be inside an object. I will take a two font family. One will be body font, one will be title font. So the body font will be Poppins and the title font will be Montserrat. By default, it will be sans serif if either way it missed. And also I will predefine some of the classes, some of the colors which I'm gonna use for the entire build. I already tested those colors. It will work just fine. You feel free to use it. And that colors will be one body color, the entire body color. And then I think, yeah, I need to put a comma over here. Okay, so we need to put the body color. The text color will be the normal text color. Design color is that the English color, it will be here, and the title, a round background, will be there. And also I need to add an animation, because as you see, if you come over in the main file, that animation is happening. As you see, that round things is circling. That's all happening from the animation, and we need to create that animation. To make that animation come in through, I'm gonna just I will not use a default animation. I will combine my preferred animation here. One will be spin slow, it will spin slowly, and it will reverse spin, which will be reverse spin, and it will be take 15 seconds, the linear infinite. And also for that, to make it work, I'm gonna use some keyframes, and that keyframes will work for my reverse spin. For reverse spin, the keyframe will be like that. So it will be give a reverse spin and transform it to be rotate at 360 degree. And also I'm gonna use one box shadow. So the box shadow will be, I already predefined two box shadow for my today's build. One will be green box shadow and another will be like test shadow. Now if we go through over here, as you see, it's having the problem. It's because whenever you miss anything here, last time remember one comma was mistaken, the build up will make some complication. You just need to npm start again, cut the command line and start over. So when it's spinning, let's go to our app.js. So here we need to start working. So what I'm gonna do, I need to make that entire app in a different I think it still is showing yeah, linear gradient. I think I missed something over there. So yeah, that should be there. Something is missing. When I was copying that one, I was missing something which happened in the, I think in title BG. Yeah, so in here I was missing one component, which will be okay. I think now it will fix the issue. Okay, let it spin. So now in here in the app.js, we need to start working. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a bunch of class name for our entire div. Let's see if it's working. Yeah, that is spinning, so it's all right now. No need that h1. First of all, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a width full and the height of a screen. Right now that screen size is okay, so we're gonna keep that height. So whenever we're gonna make for the lower screen, like a smaller screen, that time we need to change that procedure. And also I will, by default it will be like the body font, and also I'm gonna give the text as a text color. Whatever text is there, it will be text color, and the BG will be black. I will make it relative because later on, see, all of the divs will be absolute. The divs contain those icons, it will be absolute. That's why I predefinedly making it as relative. Now inside that div I will take another div, and also I'm gonna give some class name for that div. That class name will be like width will be full and height will be full. I will make the div absolute, top 0, left 0, and the z index 10. If I make a background of green, you will see that div contains my entire div. Okay, so remove the background, that's not required. Now in here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create our first round. So to create that round, what I'm gonna do, I will take a div and I'm gonna give some class name for the div. So give a class name width of 96, height of 96 also I'm gonna give, and that will be relative because later on I will make all the things is absolute entirely. Not relative, I think it's, yeah, top will be absolute, downwards it will be relative. Yeah, so it will be top 0, and from the left side I will make it -10. So let's give a border to see its existence. You see, that is our div. So now inside of that div we're gonna create all over the things is required. So I'm gonna create another div, and in here on that div we're gonna give a class name. We're gonna give a width of 32, height of 32, and it will be rounded, fully rounded, the circle, and will be BG will be design color, and it will be an absolute. We are making it absolute, remember, so that div we will make it relative. So that's the way it's gonna work. So whatever is inside of it, it's gonna work perfectly with that. So that will be an absolute, and also we're gonna make top 0. So if we save, I think we can see something, you see, because we keep in left side, because you see it's like coming from the inside, that's why we keep it in the left circle. Now we need to give it a blur, so let's give a blur of axle. Now you see that is working fine. If you're having problem to understanding the class name, go to tailwindcss.com and you will find everything is reasonable. So I recommend you to go and just check whatever the things you really need. And now after that div, what I'm gonna do, I'll introduce another div, and in the same way I'm just gonna drop a bunch of class names. So width and height will be 24, and it will be same way, that rounded full, and also BJ green, I'm gonna give a green of 600, and same way absolute, and it will be minus bottom of 10, and gonna give a left of 16, and also the blur will be axle. As you see, we have another, like the second circle is coming over here. Now we will introduce another circle, and for that circle I'm gonna just pop up some of the class name because it's the same procedure. Now I made the same way, I'm just changing the color, just giving some width and height for that. And as you see, I have now 3 div. So what I'm gonna do, I don't need that border anymore. I'll remove that border, and you see it's okay. Now I need to make it a spin. To make that spin in the top level, like where in the, because we keep that everything in here, right? So in here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce the animate, and the animate will be spin slow. Okay, and that one we declared over here, that spin slow, like, yeah, that spin slow will work from here, spin 15 seconds linear infinite. So if you see, that is spinning right now. So now that round is inside our app, so this not looks much good, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create one folder which will be our components. I think I made a mistake. Yeah, components. And inside that components I will create another folder which will take our round designs. All the round designs we're gonna keep it inside here. So first of all I'm gonna keep like round1.js RAFCE, and that snippet will work if you just install that one. I think ES+7 React, you need to install that one. And also to running the Tailwind CSS, I believe that you need to install that Tailwind CSS IntelliSense, and also don't forget to install the prettier to make your code looks much better. So save that one, and from here, remember that's the div and complete the entirely all things. So I'll just cut the div, and instead of that I'm gonna paste all of it. Now in our app directory, sorry, in app file, I'm gonna just get our round one, and after doing that, you see that's working just fine. So now we need to create another 4 or 5, I think 4. So let's go to our here cd src. If I, yeah, we are in this now, cd components, we are in the components. Now we're gonna create other like round2.js, round3.js, round4.js, round5.js. So we are creating all the rounds we require, and if we save, and you see we have that rounds, but where we create that rounds, that is inside. Okay, why that's going a little bit outward? I think that's fine. Okay, let's go to check our folder structure. Maybe I made something wrong, so I believe it's somewhere here. I'm just make sure nothing is wrong with that. Okay, so in portfolio, I think in the source file, in the components, in the round design, oh yeah, I made something, because I didn't make it inside that round, that's why it's just freaking up. So let's go here. Now as you see, it's all are inside that round, so I'll close the terminal, not required. So now I have 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go to create the functional component RAFCE, the same way you can create. So now for the 2, it will be the same procedure, so I'm not going to waste my time to explain everything. Just follow the first one and you will understand it better. So now I have round 2, right? So that round 2 I'm gonna import here again. So let's get round 2, and after saving, you're gonna see that round is working. So now we need to have the round 3. So instead of creating RAFCE, what I'm gonna do, in round 3 I'm gonna pop up this. So that is our round 3. Okay, and also we need the round 4, and for the round 4 also I'm gonna just pop up everything from there. Okay, the same simple procedure. Some will be spin, like that one is spin reverse. So just follow through the code, and when you are doing it, you'll understand it better. And also we will have the round 5. So I'm gonna pop off that round 5 over here. Now we have all other rounds, the designing rounds. So now what I'm gonna do, round 3, round 4, I think it's not giving me round 5, and just go back here, save one more time. Sometimes it's little bit creating problem. Let's see auto import. No, it's not working. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import manually round 3 from, it will be from my components and the round design, then the round 3, and also I will take 4, 5. So it will be the same inside the same folder, and that one will be 4, and the other one will be 5. Now once you save it, see our round is working. Now you can see that is like overflow is happening. We need to stop that one because it's not looks good if it's overflowing. We want to make it like a single page. To stop that one, I will go to our parent directory, and here I will make just overflow hidden, and after doing that I believe it will stop. So now our overflow is fine, is working much better. So now what we need to do, we need to create that part. Now that part, first it will be just understand the design pattern. First it will be the same single part, right? We need to create that one, and then inside of it we're gonna divide it into 3 ways. 1, 2, and that 3. Now these 2 will be this one and this one will be like permanent, it will not mutate, only this one gonna change. So that in that way we need to focus our design. Okay, and to do that we need to create another, like in here after that div, I will create another div, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just give a class name which will be max width of screen of 2 pixel. I'll give a height of full, and it will be MX auto from inside, it will be in the middle, and I will make it flex justify in the center and items in the center. I will make the div entirely center from everywhere. So now in here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another file which will call my home.js, because I want to release the pressure from my app file. So now let's import that home, and in the home, as you can see, our home is here, is entirely in the middle. So now in that home we need to work on, we will just release our app for a bit. So in home we need to create all other things. First of all, let's divide our home into 3 parts. Let's go back to our home. In our top directory, give a class name, because remember we give a width and height full, width also we give it like max width of 2 pixel, screen 2 pixel. So in here I'll give a width of 85%, the entire div, and the height also will be 85%. Okay, I think it's it will be a problem. Yeah, 85%. That you can predefinely default, like you can override the Tailwind CSS classification. I'm doing it. You can either divide the width as well like the Tailwind do, or you can manually do that one. And also I'll give a BG of body color to show you what's going to happen. And text is, I think, okay, give a text of white if there is any text going on, and the Z will be 50. I want that one to be top from everywhere. If I save that one, I think you're gonna see that is here. So now this one we need to divide into 3 parts. Now this part will be very easy. First of all, I will make it like the background, I will make it transparent, because oh, I think sorry, I need to give the BG transparent. Yeah, because I'm gonna give the space for every other things manually. So now I'm gonna take another div, and in that div I'm gonna just give some class name. It will be width of 16 and height will be 96. BG will be a body color. If I save that one, I believe you're gonna see this one. So we got our first part. I think it will not be visible, just look closely, you see that is our first one. It's ready over here. Okay, so now after that one we're gonna give our second one, and to create the second one, this second one, it will be actually, if you look closely, that is actually a single div. Okay, that single div gonna divide into 2 div. So first we need to take one single div, then we will create the dividation over here. Okay, so in here below of it I'm gonna take another div, and that div gonna take everything. I give a class name, it will be like width will be the 94%, because remember we given width and 16 from there, and don't be afraid to put that way, because whenever we're gonna make it responsive it will be very easy to create in that way. And the height will be full, and if I give a BG of the body color, you can see that div available here. See, so to make it in the top level, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just need to flex an item center, and I'm gonna make justify between, and now you see that div is ready. So, and also I think item center is not good. I'm gonna make item start, so see it's gonna be top, and the gap is coming also, so it looks much better. So in that div we need to create 2 more div, which will contain one it will be one left part, one will be right part. So first of all, inside that div, like it will be like left part start, and oops, so that div will be left part, and another div which will contain the right part. So for the left part, what we need to do, we're gonna give a width of, we're gonna divide the width. Okay, so I'll give a class name width of, like, it will be 5 of 12. It's kind of like I think 50 or 45, something like that. And height will be full, and I'm gonna full is mistake, height full. BJ will be body color. You can, I will just remove that BJ from here because we're gonna manually give the BJ color for every other things. So I'll just what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just give a BJ of transparent here. And for that div, so this one we got, and for the other div, give a class name, and it will be width of 8 by 12. If you don't understand that classification, go to Tailwind and you will just understand every single bit if you read the documentation. And I'm not gonna give a full height of that div. Remember, this div, like if you go over here, this div is not contain full height. It's little bit below than this div. Okay, as you compare that one, a slight bit of difference is there. So we need to create that difference, and to create that one, I'm gonna just give it a height of 95, and also I'm gonna give a BJ of body color. Now after saving that, you're gonna see these two is just squashing together. So what we need to do in the top level, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just keep it as simple like flex and item center. Oh, oops, what happened? Yeah, now you see, now these two div is okay. And also we need to do, I think we make it okay, I put s over here. So now that two is fine. So now first of all, let's create our left part. And to create that left part, let's go in our components. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create one folder which will take in everything, whatever we are happening in the home file, home directory. So in here, I'm gonna create a file which will contain our left part. So that file will contain the left one. Close the app, go to home. So this portion I'm gonna cut, and I'm gonna give it here in this portion. And also in the home, I will just import the left portion, and as you see, that is fine. So now in the left portion, we're gonna create our left part. Now what will be in the left part? First, that entire div we will divide into two-way. Okay, we will divide into two-way. First will contain the image, and the second will contain our name, our little bit of typewriting going on here, and also the three things we'll keep here. And the another div will contain our button, download button and contact me button. So these three things we're gonna create in the left part. Okay, that will not be changed anyway later on, so we need to focus on it to design it perfectly. First of all, we need an image over here. Now if you come over in assets, you see I have all the images for the work, all the images. Also I have my like resume over here. So what I'm gonna do, instead of pulling all the images one by one, I will just pass the images from one of the JS file, and in the JS file I'm gonna import all the properties I have here. Like I have one banner image, like I'm gonna import banner img, and it will be from in the same directory, just banner img.png. So that is my banner image, and from here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just export all of my property. Like first one is the banner image. In that way we can simplify the issue in a single bunch of file, and if we have any issue with the properties image or file we are giving, we can just come back here and make it in a way it possibly be suited. So that's all are the images I'm gonna use over here, and I'm gonna import it from here. So you feel free to go all the directory and find out. I'm gonna give that assets in the description. I'll give the link. So that will contains everything, even that file also I will import from here later on. So let's close that one, and let's head back to our left part. Now in that left part we need to create all other things. So in the left, inside that div, we need to divide that div into two div. first, second, it will be top, and the first div, it will take the width of full, and the height, it gonna take 305, like little bit more than the initial div. And inside here, I'm gonna take an image, and that image will be banner img. Also, I can put banner image. I need to import that image. Import banner img. Initially, it will not give you that pop-up. If you import 2-3 times, it will just then it will follow through. So it gonna be, I think, yeah, we need to go out of the directory. So in the assets, and I need to get it from the index. So now we have the banner image. If you come over here, you see that is image, but it's taking much more of width from there. So what I'm gonna do in that entire image, I'm gonna give a bunch of class name. I'm just making it width, full, height, full, object, cover, and also I'm giving a rounded of LG. Now you see, now this one is not looking like LG because in the topper level where our first tip, also we need to make rounded to XL, so it will fix the round issue. So see, it's a round little bit. Now we have the image, but whenever anybody whenever it's load, I want to be image first shown here because I want them to see my image first, right? So I will gonna just put two like one category. It will be like loading. Now it will prioritize to loading that one first. So now it goes here, my first div. Now inside that div, I need to work the other thing. So first thing first, let's go back here and give a class name. It will be width full, and height will be remaining a portion 2/5, and that one also, I think, in the okay, I'm not gonna keep it rounded now, just give a width. If I make a bg like red 200, you'll see that one is here. So that is the div. We need to work on that div. So I'm gonna just remove the bj, and now inside that div we need to create I believe that will be two div. So first one, it will be contain the intro, so that one will be one div, and then it will be like buttons, so that two things will be inside that div. So for the first div, like inside my first div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pop up one of the h1 tag, and that h1 tag will give a name like John Doe. So let's give it, and also after that we're gonna put some text over there. So first of all, just I'm gonna put some initial text, sorry, developer. So if I come over here, you see that 2 is okay, it's over here, but we need to make it looks like that. And also we need to import some icons. So before putting that typewriter, let's go back to get our icons. So I'm gonna use the React icons for that entire build. So go to React icons, and now I need to copy that and head back here and just paste. So our, I think it's installed. So all the image like all the icons, whatever I require, I'm gonna just go back to my previous file. I'm gonna just get that one. Sorry, I'm just getting that one beforehand. So I will use that icon for Facebook and also for LinkedIn, GitHub. Those all are the icons I'm gonna use. Also for like the send and mail for the buttons. So all the icons is here. Now inside here, what I'm gonna do, see, I took the text over here. Up the text, inside the div, I'm gonna take the button. So I'm gonna just give a span, and inside this span, like I want to put the GitHub, and if you see that GitHub will be available here. The icon is here. So we have the three properties, but we need to make it looks like that. And to do that, it's very simple. In the topper label of the div, where is everything contained, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a flex. I'm gonna give a flex column, and also I'm gonna make item center, and then I'll give a gap of 2 and a padding y of 10, so it will push through from top and bottom level little bit. See, it is here. Now what we need to do, I'm gonna just go and grab some class name for our h1 tag. We're giving a color of text color and text of 4XL, font semi-bold. In the same way, I'm gonna just go grab some I can manually type one by one, but it will just kill the time. You can just go through of the class names and you'll find it's suitable for you. So we have that two portion. Now also in our I think if we add another like to GitHub, now you can see the difference. So we need to make the topper label as a flex. So let's go in the top, class name of flex, and it will be like justify center, gap will be 2, and from the topper label I want to make a little bit lower, so the empty of 2. Now you see, and also if you come over here, see little bit hover option is going on, and also the text is getting a little bit bigger. So for that I will just add that class name, and you will see that is gonna be same like that. See, I'm just giving a hover text design color duration 300, cursor pointer, giving a text a little bit bigger. So what I'm gonna do, the same thing will be applied for all of the icons is over here. So I'm gonna grab and put that everything here. So I'm just giving that icons. Now as I go, you see those things is working perfectly fine. So now after that we are doing that one, but remember this one should be a typewriter, right? It's writing something. Oh, by the way, we can do it first, but I'm just keeping it. I will go through it because I want to see the image, you know, so it will look a little bit fantastic to build simultaneously. So what we need to do, we need to install the typewriter. I will just go, I'm gonna use React-Simple-Typewriter. Let's go npm with it, and inside the npm, okay, so you can come through with the documentation and read the way it's supposed to be. I'm not going to waste the time to explaining everything. If you just follow through however I'm doing, it will work perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. To understanding it better, come to the documentation, read a bit, you will find it reasonable. So I'll just copy that on, and also I'm gonna install that. And what I need from there to initialize my typewriter, I need this use typewriter and the cursor. And how those things is work, in the topper level you need to make an array of text. That will be my text array. You can give any name, I'll give that as text. So I'm gonna use the typewriter, and it will take an object, and that object gonna pass the word, like an array of word. I'm a web developer, so I'll go through with that one. And also I'm gonna add another 2. You can add as much as you may like. So I'm gonna give a web developer, full stack developer, and UI designer. And what I want, see, once one is finished, it's not stop, it's looping through every other single like 1 or 2 seconds. It's waiting, then it starts looping through. Okay, so it never stop. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make that loop as true, so it will always loop through. So in here it will be loop, and it will be true, and then I will give a type speed of 30. And those classification, you can go again there in the documentation and read how those things work. And also I'll give a delay speed, so it's gonna hold and wait for a bit. It will be 200 milliseconds, so 2 seconds. So now my typewriter is ready, and that typewriter I'm gonna give it, I believe it will be over here. So here I'm gonna introduce the typewriter. So I put the typewriter, let's see it's working or not. If we come, see, no, this is a simple typewriter. What I did wrong, wait, it's taking something wrong. I think I made some mistake maybe. Okay, so let's go. If we see it's installed, I believe it's installed properly, otherwise it should not be. Okay, React-Simple-Typewriter, that is okay, fine, that's running. And I believe, yeah, it should not be word, it will be worse. So it contains the word because it go through the texted. So be careful once you are typing. Okay, now see, it's fine. So just a single s, it create the problem. Okay, so now those things is working much fine. So I will add a cursor over here to just you see that one is a little bit a cursor going on. We need to add that cursor. So after that text over here in the P, after the text, I will introduce the cursor, and that cursor will be like cursor blinking. It will be false, so it will not blink. And also I will give the cursor style, which style will be this one. So if I save, okay, now see, that is blinking, and that gap I think is coming from I believe, yeah, that's the gap. Just I remove that, sorry, remove that, and the gap is gone. So now this part is working just fine. Now in the bottom, like in the bottom, we need to add our to button. So to add the button, let's go in the bottom to add the button. And to add that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just pop up two buttons over here. One button will be download our CV, and another button will be, what we call the another button, it will be just contact me. So these two buttons will be available there. So let's go, this is the button, and after that button also I think we have two icons. So let's bring that icons on the line. So after CV, that will be our icon, and for what send, that will be our icon. If we come over here, you see that icon is there. Okay, you can put in this span tag or you can put that way, it's just fine. So in the top of div, let's just give a class name, it will be flex. I'm gonna give a height of 14, so that way it can take the height overall. Now in the button, I'm gonna just put the class name, it will be the entirely the same class name for all over. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a class name width of 1/2. It will take the half of the width, it will take the full height, and then I'm gonna make it a flex, and also justify it will be in the center, and also items center and the gap of 2, because these two different components you can put in this span text so you can understand it better, or just normally like that. As you see, this button is working perfectly fine. Okay, so now after having that, you see there is a hover going on, and also cursor thing is going on there. So I'm gonna do that, and also as you see there should be a border. So let's create those three parts. First of all, I'm gonna give a border in the top level, and that will be Zing color, Zing 800. I'm gonna make a text of a smaller text, and then give a tracking of void, so it will give a room to breathe of the word, and I will make the text is uppercase. And also whenever I'm gonna hover, the text will be design color. Okay, and that when it's hovering, I'm gonna give a duration of 300. And by the way, as you may just think from where is text is coming, see that by default in there I'm giving the text color, so whatever text is available it will just guess that color anyway. So that's the simple fun that is going on. Now you see, I think my border is not getting well. So why the border not work? Let's go here, we give a border T, because we need to mention our border T, and that will be 1 pixel. Okay, now as you'll see that border is working. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do the same thing for my other div. So let's go here, and in that button I'm gonna put the same item, and see, that's fine. Now here it will be a little bit border right also, I think that will be for the first one. And for that border issue, what I'm gonna do, in my here I'll predefine some border, because every time I need to type several issues for it. So what I'm gonna do, at the layer inside the components, I'm gonna put all of those class names, like it will be something like that like whenever I'm typing border top, it will just take border top 1 pixel, border top like zinc color 800, border bottom, border right, border left, border all. So I'm just predefining the border. So now over here in the topper label, I think for our first button we need to give a border right. To give that one, we can just simply go on the top, and if we just give like border right, and as you'll see, it's applying perfectly. But remember, we have one, like whenever we click in the CV, there will be our CV should be shown here. So what I'm gonna do for that one, and surely that button, I'm gonna just cut that one. I'll put a tag, a half tag, like anchor tag, and here I'm gonna give my CV. First of all, let me get my CV. So I'm gonna get import CV, and it will from like I need to go back to my assets, and I believe inside the assets is just simply lying over there. Okay, and it will be PDF file. So now my CV is over here. So what it gonna do, whenever anybody click, it gonna pass that to our CV. And also I want that to be target in a blank page, open in a blank page. And also whenever you do that, you need to make like a non-referrer. I'm gonna just put that one over here. So now after saving, I think it will be ready, and see that is working. But our design is just broken. It's because we need to give a bunch of things like the same class name I just give for the button, because our tag has some various default class name is going on. So we'll give the same class name over here, and partially I'm gonna remove some of the class name. Instead of that flex and other, I'm gonna remove all other class name. It's because those class names is coming from here. So now if we do that, see, no, it's still making the problem, and that's one. Let me just go and fix that a bit. I think I put something in a wrong way. Okay, let's undo some. Okay, we have a tag, you see that one. So what we did wrong? Okay, I think so. That is my button. So that is my first button, and that is my target class. And if I think I find the things I made. The class name is not taking because I made okay, what I'm gonna do, I take the class name twice in here when I'm pasting that on. So I'm gonna just remove the entire class name from my anchor tag, and also I'm gonna put that here. So now I have the tag here. So instead of keeping the flex, I'm gonna remove all other tags from here, and I believe it's gonna just work. Oh, still making the problem. So what I'm doing, let's give width a full. I want to take the full width. So now it's okay, because that one we are giving half width. Inside of that is button. So even we are giving like a half width. So we are dividing in two parts. We need to give a full width of it. So now once you click, you get your resume, and you can also create something in for the contact button. So now we're gonna create that portion. Okay, so we have our left part, or before we create, we can go over here, but I'll create that navbar first. Okay. So to create that navbar, we need to go to our, I think remember we keep it here. Now that one we will not take in another component, because if we take in another component, what the problem we're gonna face? Let me explain. See, that one is sitting over here, right? Whenever we are clicking on it, that is changing over here. If we take in a different component, that could be difficult to render. We need to pass a lot of props to let it work. So I'm gonna put that in a same like a same in app.js. Okay, so to do that, in here I'm gonna take a div. Okay, so first of all, you see that one is not an icon, that one is some kind of the things we're gonna make. The icon that one will make, those are the icons. Okay, to make that, in here I'm gonna take a div. Let's take a div and give a class name with a full. I'll give a height of 20. First of all, this body color I'm not gonna give, I will just make it transparent, so you will not see that one anymore, so it's gone. So now here we're gonna go one by one. So now it will be bg of the body color, and around it I think it will be 3x, a little bit more round. And also if we do that one, I believe we will see that is our round, so we need to create this inside that round. So let's go, we will create that. Now we will take another div, and inside that div we will take one span. Okay, first span. So first span, what we're gonna do, give a class name width of 8 and height of, I think, give it 2 pixels to just to see how it works. And background will be like text color, background the text color, and also I'll make it inline block, otherwise we cannot see it. If we save that one, I believe we will see. So this is our one div, and this is partially in the top is because that div we need to work. So like so, if we take like 3 div, 2, 3, as you see, this is our 3 div. So we need to make that div looks better so that it will work. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a flex, and I'm gonna make it a flex in column, and also I'll give a gap of 1.5, so it will individually recirculate the gap. If I give a gap, now see that is looks perfectly fine. So that looks better and cool, I believe. In the topper div, see, that is our topper div. So that div contains everything. So what I'm gonna do, I want everything to be inside, it will be in the center. So I'll make flex, I will make it again flex. I'll give a flex, I will make it a flex in column. Okay, let's see if it's working or not. I believe it will not work because it will flex column will not work. It will be make like justify center and also item center, and whenever we are hovering to that div, I want the div to be cursor pointer. If we do that, oh no, it's supposed not to work because we are giving that one in top a div. It should be this everything. We're gonna cut it from here because we are putting in a wrong div. This div contains the thing, so we need to paste it here. If we save it, now see, now we need to create some translate transform so that it should be looks better. So first of all, in that div, let's introduce one thing. Initially I will make it minus translate x2. Once we do that, you see it's getting a little bit outside. And also in the topper level, before making it that one, we will make the topper level as a group. So whenever we are hovering on the group, like hover in the group, I want translate x, translate x should be 0. I don't know why it's not taking that one. So if I hover, no, I made some mistake. Okay, let's cut it again. 2, whenever, oh sorry, it will be like group hover, translate x would be 0. So that entire div as a group. So whenever I'm hovering, see that div is just coming like the same way. So now we can see the outside portion. What we need to do in that a topper label where we give the gap, we will give that overflow as hidden because everything just going from that div. Now see, so we need to create some transition like transform. So what I'm gonna do, transition will be whenever the transform is coming that time, and then I will give a duration of 300 and also group hover, the bg will be design color. So now as you see, that is working slick. So what I'm gonna do for all other, it will be the same setup. I will just do with the give a little bit room for the other thing, like translate X. I'm giving it I believe this one. Okay, and also this one. So if we save, because in the middle, as you can see, middle will be no transformation, only in the top and bottom. So whenever we are hovering in the group, that will come in the shape. So as you see here, so whenever we are hovering, that first and the second first and last one will be happening the translation, like a translate transition, not the translation, and the like the middle one, it will be the same. It will just change the color and other thing. So we are having that things done, like we can see here, home icons. Now after home icons, we need to create our other icons. So what we're gonna do, I think now that is our home icon. Yeah, so after that we're gonna create our other icons. You can comment the good way you want. I'm just going through a simple way. So inside here, I'm gonna take a div, and now I'm gonna give a class name with the full and height. With the full and height, I'm gonna give a 96, and let me go through it. 96 is the full width we give, so let's give it 80, and BG will be body color, and around it will be the same way, 3 axle, and also give a padding py of 6 just to see how it looks. And you see that is fine. So first of all, in the top level of our div, we need to give a gap. So what we're gonna do in that here, which contains everything, what I'm gonna make flex call. You can give the gap with the margin, no problem, but I love to give it a flex. Later on it will help me save the time while I will make it like responsive. So now over here I need several kind of icons, so I will just go and grab, I think previously, how many icons I require? 1 2 3 4 6 icons. So just let me go and grab all over the icons I used beforehand. Those are the icons I use. So now in here, inside that div, I need to pull through all the icons, and that design is a little bit tricky. See, whenever you're hovering, that diagram is popping up. See, you hover, hover is coming out. So those things we need to create. So it must be a little tricky, but it's very easy to make. So first of all, for the first div, I will just what I'm gonna do for the first div, I'm gonna take a span tag, and inside that span tag, it will be like, we need to pop up our icon for user, the first icon, and you see that is our first icon, and we want that icon to be in the middle from everywhere. So in here where we give the padding, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna flex call in the column and item center, and also I will make the justify in the center. Item center, I'll make justify between, so it will just give the room of, it will take the padding automatically. Okay, so like if I make another icon, as you see, it's shifting altogether different way. So that's the thing I'm gonna use. And in that span, like I have the file user, inside that span I'm gonna take another span. Okay, and let's type the about and save it. As you see, this about is here. So first of all, for the first div, we need to start pulling through so many things. So let's go in our first div, and we're gonna give some class name. It will be full width, and height will be a 6. And also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a text color, and then the text will be Excel flex item center, and also I'll make it justify center to give it a room from everywhere. And whenever I'm gonna hover it, the text will be design color, the duration will be 300, and also I need to initialize the cursor pointer. So as you see, that is working fine. No, it's not working fine. Okay, what's going on? Waitful whenever we are hovering. Okay, so that is here. And also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make like a relative, and also I will give a name of a group. Okay, so that thing is group. Now in here, in that span which contain our href, like about portion, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a class name, and that class name, first of all, I'm gonna make it like absolute. As you see, after making absolute, that looks better. Now that one is working fine. So now we need to make little bit working with that. First of all, I'm gonna make a text of black, and font I'm gonna give a medium, and the text will be extra small, and also I will make the text as uppercase, and the BG will be design color, PX will be 4, and the PY will be 1 pixel, and then I'm gonna make a rounded of axle, and then from the left it will be 0. So if we see that, see, that is working just fine. Okay, from the left is 0, so I want to create something like translate X. I will make it 8, little bit farther. So now you see there is near our icon, or if you want to give it 10, you can give it a 10. Now you see little bit more farther, but see, whenever I'm hovering, that is popping up, so I think 8 is perfect. So now whenever I am hovering in the group, like if I go through group hover, what I want that translate X should be 12, like it will reach much farther. So whenever I'm hovering, see, it's going farther, it's going farther. So now that transition is like we are not seeing it very quick. So again, the same way, what I'm gonna do, I'll make this time transition all, whatever is happening, and the duration will be like 300, and I'm gonna give it Z index of 200 to popping up, to go up top of the image. Now see, that is slick. Now of course we need to, first of all, we need to make it like it, we cannot see that one. So what we're gonna do, first of all, it will be the opacity will be 0. So whenever we're gonna hover in the group, like group hover, oh sorry, it will be like that, group hover, opacity will be not 95, it will be 100. So there is nothing, whenever you come and hover in the group, see, it's popping up, it's popping up. So in that way we're gonna create all other, how many we have 6. So first of all, let's grab that span. What I'm gonna do, 2 3 4 5, how many we have, 5, one more, 6. So that's 6 we have. Now what I need to do, I need to just popping up all the, we have the resume and other part. So let's go back here, and after the first one, I think that's the first one, the about for user, and then it will be for paper, which will contain the resume. So I think it's working, yeah, resume. And then after resume, it will be our projects, and the icon will be, the name will be projects. Anyway, whatever name you give, it will be by default, it will be uppercase. And also we need to give like SI Google Chat for our like blog, and after blog we have another one which will contain that for envelope, and that one will be contact. And at the end, I'm gonna keep another one, you can use it to just make an emergency call button. We will use that call. So now once you save it, if you go through here, you see icon change, and now, oh, that looks better, that looks perfect. So whenever we on click, we can toggle through everything. So each time So before creating like this one, we can create it right now, but before that we better create this portion. So whenever we click, that portion should be changed. So in the about, let's go begin with creating our main part on that section. And to create that, we need to go back to home again, and remember where we keep those things. After the left, this is our right portion, right? So first of all, we have one about page. So what I'm gonna do, in that components level, I'm gonna take another folder which will contain our about, and here I'm gonna take a file which will be about.js, rafce, that will be our about portion. Let's go back here, and now popping up the about. Once you popping up, you see our about is ready. And now, first of all, before to create the about, what we need to do, in about there is a lot of section going on. You see, there is about me section, my service. This is the title, and title is same for everywhere. See, my services here, fun fact here, all the title is same. If you come over in the resume also, title is the same. So first of all, let's create our title. So let's head back to our about page. In the about, so in about, what I'm gonna do, instead of taking inside a div, I will put a section, because whenever we are getting in the like a smaller device, I'm gonna pull it up in a different way. For that we need that ID later on, not now. So in the about, I'm gonna just popping up one class name which will contain the full width of that. Okay, so now here I'm gonna take an h1 tag. Okay, now inside that h1 tag, what it will be, inside that h1 tag, what I'm gonna do, first one has, what is our first text is about me. That's see, that color is different, that text is different, and the design is different. So first of all, let's take our, in a different, like inside a span tag about, and after span tag I will take the other one which will be me, about me. So if we go over here, you can see our about me is here. So now h1, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give another class name for it. It will be, font will be title font, and font will be bold, little bit bolder, and the text will be Excel, little bit larger text, and it will be capitalized, and text will be text color. By default it will take, just better to give that. And also I'll make that div as relative, because other downwards I'm gonna make that absolute. I'm gonna give a z index of 20, and I'm gonna give a padding in x-axis 6, padding in y-axis in 3, and also I'm gonna give a border, like if I keep border bottom, it's gonna work just fine, and I'm gonna make it grow. Let's save it, and you see that is working just fine. You can go through the class name slowly, one by one. You will find it very reasonable. Now in this pen, we need to change the color. What I'm gonna do, just simply text DEIS, I think DESIGN, design color. The text will be design color. Voila, it's done. So now we need to create another span which will be absolute, and which will gonna be give that a smaller portion. See that there is one like a smaller circle is there. We need to create that circle, and to create that circle, what we need to do, simply after that me portion, I'm gonna take a span, and in that span I'm gonna just popping up some of the class name, because it's the same setup is going on here. You just go through this class name and you will understand it much better. So I'm saving it. You go through the class name one by one, it will be reasonable. So now here is the, whenever you're hovering, it's going a little bit here. Now we have our about. Now by the way, we have the title, but it's not the dynamic. Now we can call it whenever we want if we make it dynamic. Okay, to make the dynamic, what I want to do, I think I will go my I'm not gonna, okay. Oh, see, home tag we keep in our round, inside the round design. You can just pull it up from there. Okay, I'm not gonna do it, it will crash my, or it's okay, keep it here, no problem. Now I'm gonna make it here one title, RAFCE. Now inside that title, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just cut that H1 tag and I'm gonna paste it here. So that is our the title, but we need to make it dynamic. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull the title over here. So after pulling it, that one, just you can take the div upper of the, it will be main div in the components. By mistakenly it's just in the round design, so just ignore it. And also design is spell mistake, so just go through it, don't make that mistake. So now we have that, but it's not yet dynamic, so we're gonna pass some kind of props, and one is, it will be title, and that inside the title it will be about, and then I'm gonna pass also another subtitle, it will be me. Now if we go to our title, we can take that as a props, but I will just structurize, destructurize that one. I'm gonna take title and subtitle, and in the about I'm gonna put the title, in the me I'm gonna put subtitle, and I will remove that. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm giving a gap. No, okay, okay, that's fine. So now we have about and me. I think, yeah, this gap is here. So now we have about me, and after about me, in our about page, we have another portion which will contain the about me portion, right? So what I'm gonna do, in here, in our about folder, I will take another file which will contain about me.js. Now this is kind of like a design pattern is happening, so just feel free to understand it. Okay, once you do it in our future project where we're gonna pull up a multiple project, you will understand it much better. Okay, so RAFCE, that will be our about me portion. Close the title, close the home. In the about, after the title, we're gonna pull us that about me portion, and you see that about me is available here. So this portion we need to look like this portion. So in the about me portion, what we're gonna do, first of all, we will take a div. We already have a div here. Now in that div, inside that div, we need to take another two div to correspond with all of the things. Like if you come over and see, like in here, that is contain the half portion, that is contain the half portion. So we need to create that div, and then we're gonna pop up everything inside that div. So first of all, let's go inside that. We're gonna pop up two div, and first of all, in first div, I'm gonna give a class name, it will be flex, and the padding B will be 6. And then in here, what I'm gonna do, width of 1 by like half of the width, and the text will be zinc 400, all of the text, and the px will be 6, and the border will be border right, and then it will be flex item center. So now it's time to popping up our things, and there what I'm gonna popping up is that, let's see what is here available. We need to pop up that entire text. One will be like a title, one will be the subtitle. So first of all, let's go pulling up our first one. I will take that h2 tag, and inside the h2 it will be hello, I am John Doe, and below of it I will take another p tag, and that p tag will contain my all other text. Now as you see, that is ready, and if we come over, now that looks a similar way. So what I'm gonna do, this div is contain I think if we make in a flex and like a flex column, it will be fine. Okay, that looks better. So we can do that way, and also if I give padding and y-axis 6, okay, that looks better. So now we need to fix that. We need to give some class name for our h2 tag. Let's go. The class name, it will be font will be semi-bold, and also margin bottom will be 1 pixel. If we save, that looks better. And here is item center is going. I believe if we make it item center, or I think no need to make the item center, because flex call, no need the item center. That looks fine. So I think where we give the padding in padding, and padding y is all are 6, so I'll just give a padding of 6. Now see, it looks better. So we have our h1 tag, which we're giving font semi-bold, and eitherly you can make a little bit bigger like text LG. I think it will looks much better. Okay, so now for our p tag, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a class name. The text will be base, it will be 16 pixel, and I will give a leading of 6 to give a little bit room for distance. So now we have that one. Yeah, similar of that. I think that depends on a much more padding. If you give, it will be fine. So now what I'm gonna do, after that div, I have another div which over here. So inside that div, I'm gonna give a class name. So it will be again 1/2, and the padding will be 6, the way it's supposed to be. And now here, what we need to create, we need to create that portion. So I'll keep a li inside, because there is a for list, we'll just create that for. So let's create an ul and li, and inside that li, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a span. Inside that span, I will take that like age, and then after that I'm gonna give an age of 24. So now you will see that is popping up over here, but we need to make it look like that. To make that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create two class name, like two separate class name. But before creating two class name, let me go and grab those class name that you can understand it better. So what I'm gonna do, in the li, I'm gonna just popping up some class name, as you see, giving a text color, text base, font normal, and I'm making it a flex between. As you see, it's getting in between. Now in that span tag, we need to change some setup. So for that span tag, I'm gonna again also give some class name, and that class name, it will be like bg will be design color, and then it will be text will be text will be black, and then it will be uppercase, and a px will be 4, and padding y, it will be like 1 pixel. I need to give a hyphen, and after that also I'm gonna give a rounded of MD. So now if we save that one, you see that too is ready, but we have 4. So by not typing those class name over and over, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in my CSS file. So in here, I'm gonna popping up these two with that 2 predefined class name, and also I'm gonna put a comment over here that I'm starting that design for that about me section. So now here is one is like, I don't know, sometimes PTR is getting confused, it's not working in properly. So now I'm gonna making that 2 div. Just let me fix a bit. Yeah, so there is one is about li, that about list item, one is about right li, that span tag. So I will copy that portion, and now let's go to our about me. Instead of popping those all class name, I'm gonna just paste that one, and also I believe that is the span one. So about right span tag, I'm gonna popping these two here. First of all, I need to make save, and also I will make save here. So after saving, you see that is working fine. So now it will be the same procedure for all other. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just simply popping up the other classification is required. So let's head back to our file. I'm gonna just popping up that after the age, residence, freelance, address. If I save that one, you see that is looking much better, but I think little bit gapping is okay, that looks better, so it will be the same way. And as you see, this portion looks a bit off, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in a topper label, I'm gonna put that all inside a div. Oh sorry, I need to put it inside a div. And here what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a class name py of 6 to make it looks better. Okay, now it's fine. You can do it either way, take it everything in a hide and then make it in a flexible way, but that's also working just fine. So after that we have my services. Now as you remember, we have our title. Remember, we create the title and it's a dynamic title. So what I'm gonna do, about me is close, in the about, close that one also. I'm gonna take the title once more. So takes the title, and I'm gonna pass my properties, which will be first one, a second one will be my excuse me, and then I need to also popping up that services. So if I save it, you will see my services is here. So now we have my services. Now inside that my services, we need to create our my services component. Now here you can see there is a kind of shadow effect is going on, which we don't have here. So first of all, let's go to our home page. In the left, I think it's I believe it's in the left section. So in the left section, let's go in the topper label. We will create that effect first of all. So in the topper label, which you make the rounded, we'll make the shadow as a test shadow, as we did. I think it will pop up in any minute. It's not showing us. And also let's give a z of 10, and let's see. Yeah, because it's the index is not getting, so now the shadow is over here, so that looks slick. So after left we have about. Now we need to create my services. It will be in the same file of about in the about section. So what I'm gonna do, inside the about, I'm gonna create another file which will be created as myservices.js, RAFCE. And now inside the my services, I'm gonna just popping up that one. So now I have that my services, and I go, the my services is just here. So now in my services, you see we have just 4 portions. Okay, nothing else. So let's go and create those portions. First of all, in the my service, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just create one div, and inside that div I'm gonna popping up our my services. So I will not just waste the time to make you understand better. Like I will just create a my services card.js. It's the same setup of beforehand. So RAFCE. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just popping up my services card over here. So it will be services, I think services card. And now you see our services card is available, but you see there is only 4. So what I'm gonna do, I will put in a grid pattern, like if I popping up 1 2 4. So you see the 4 is here, but that one we need to create in a way so it will be like in a grid pattern, and that grid will work in a perfect way. I'll just keep one service card so that you will understand it better. And in the service card, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just pour some of here. I need one icon, and also I need some text. And that icon, I believe I will use that. What is the first icon? Will be like code. So let me get that icon, code. So this icon, I'm gonna use it here. If I save, you will see that card is like that, but we need to make it look like that. So what we're gonna do, in here in the top level of the div, I will use a grid pattern, grid, and grid calls of 4. And once I do that, as you see, that is getting in the middle. So now I need to make some kind of setup over here. So what I'm gonna do in here in the service card, I'm just gonna pass some of the class name. The class name will be padding y will be 8, and px I'm gonna give a 6. I'll make flex and flex call item center. I'll give a gap of 2. Border would be right, and also I'll give a border from bottom. So as we did that, you see that is not looks better. Anyway, let me go over here. That is the div we give. So if I just pouring all over the div, okay, I have 4 div. I think instead of 4, if I give it a 2, yeah, 2, okay, now it looks better. But that height, you see, if you come over here, there is an overflow, but it's not overflowing. Remember, we give an initial height of screen, so we need to make that way that it will overflow. So in where we can do that, we can do it that in our home.js. If we go back to our home, I think it's in the, let's go to home, it will be in the right part over here. So here we need to make some changes. So what I'm gonna do in here, this all over the divs, okay, this 95, I'm gonna make that div inside another div, and in here I'm gonna give some class name. So that class name will be width will be like full width, and height I'm gonna again make the height of 90% of that div, and I'm gonna make our flow y, it will be scroll. So as I make that one, you see it's scrolling, so that is working fine. But that scroll, we need to make it like that is scroll. So how we do that, I'm gonna use that Tailwind CSS scroll bar. Now if you go over here, now you will feel free to go and read the documentation. I will just take that, let's paste it here, and also we need to make it require to use that. So, and it will be in the, I think in the config file in here, we need to just paste it. So now our scroll bar is ready, so you can go through to understand it how you can use it there. So I have some predefine which I used already. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put that scroll bar, and also I'm gonna make it a scroll bar as a thin, and then for the scroll bar thumb, I'm gonna just make some predefined class name, or actually I can remove that one, not require. Okay, so if we save it, I believe our scroll bar will pop up. You see, that is our scroll bar, and that is our my services. And that one is still not looks good because we need to give some kind of setup for our overall span tag and h1 and p tag. So in the span tag, I'm gonna just post that following text for Excel and the design color, and for h2 tag also I'm gonna pour in some class name over here, and for the p tag it will be just like that. So as we did that, you will see that will looks just fine. Now we have 4 components and we have the same setup, same kind of item. How we can make it unique? We'll just pass that title and icon like a props, and then everything gonna be in pieces. Like what we need to do in our my services, I'm gonna get all over the icons I require. So those icons is here. Now here what I will do, I will pass that icons as a props. So first one is by code lt, and then also I'm gonna just pass that other data as a title after that as title and subtitle. Now I have icon, title and subtitle. Now if we go to in the card, I think it's not required anymore. I will just can take all the things as icons, title, subtitle. So in here I'm gonna paste just icons, and here it will be title, and also here it will be subtitle. Now as we said, you see one is ready, others is not there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pour all the relative information required for the other div. So in my services, instead of this tree, I'm gonna just keep this tree. So after I save it, now you see that is dynamic and it looks much better. So now we have our services, and after services we have little bit of fun fact going on. And also I'm gonna do the same thing. It will be like a similar task, so feel free. I'm just gonna write a little bit quick, so you feel free to go slow and try to understand all of it. Funfact.js, RAFCE, just paste it here. And in the about section, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just pulling our another title. And as you see, after I pulling the title, the fun fact is available over here. And now we need our fun fact after it. It's not, oh sorry, it will be fun fact. So I think our fun fact is ready. Now this fun fact, we need to keep it look like that. To do that, what I'm gonna do inside that fun fact, let's go it over here, and here just in the topper level I will just create the same way we did. I'm gonna create a grid option, and that grid option will take like 4 calls, and it will be padding axis is to be 0 and padding bottom will be 10. And here what I'm gonna do, I will take one, like let's create another fun card from where we're gonna get that item. So that will be our fun card. So in here let's just pour up that fun card, and in the fun card we will also popping up some of the items. It's the similar of services, so I'm just gonna putting at the items directly. So in the fun card, what I'm gonna do, like I'm gonna put that icon and other documents as like before, passing it as the props. So also after I'm reaching in the fun facts, like a fun card, not in the service, it will be fun card. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take all of the items, I'm gonna receive the icon and the description, and that is coming from the fun fact we are giving here. Now in here what I'm gonna do, in the topper level I'm gonna take a div which will be with full, and then I'm gonna take another div, and inside that div I'm gonna take a span, and that span will contain my icon. And after that icon I will take a p, that p will take the description. So as I said, you see that is almost ready. So we need to just go through little bit of customization. I will just pour the class names over here. The similar class name you can feel free to go through to understand it. And for the span tag, I'm also going to give a bunch of class name. And also our p tag, it will also follow through some of the class name over here. So now it's ready. If we just go over here, you see our 4 fun fun fact is ready over here. With the same way, if I just create the like 1 2 3 4, you see that is already done. And now what I'm gonna do, instead of just pouring that like the same components, I'm gonna just reflect to change the data over here. And after, I think there is something wrong, it's showing fun fact card, oh sorry. So it will be a different name, no problem, we can just go through it. I'll just pop up the. So now we are passing that as a props, and we can receive it from in the props the same way. And if you see over here, our fun fact is now changed. So our first one, that about me, is ready. Now we need to create the resume, and in the resume you see what we have. We have like a two portion: resume, then experience, then skills. So the similar pattern we're gonna follow. So first of all, in our home, where we are taking the about, let's go and make it just in a comment. So then here we're gonna create our resume section. And to create the resume section, let's go over here. I think in the component, let's create another folder which will contain our resume. And now in the resume, like in the home, we will get our resume. As you see, our resume is ready. So it will be the similar pattern as I said before. So now in the resume, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also, instead of div, I will keep a section, because it will help us whenever we will just go through to make it responsive. And now here I'm gonna popping up our title, and in the title I'm gonna give two properties. One will be my, another will be resume, and you see the resume is here. Now after resume there is a section called education, so we need to popping up that one. Before popping up, we need to create that component, education.js. And now in the resume, below that we will pass the education. It's not giving us the, oh, I didn't save it, that's why. So let's come over here. No, okay, let's go to do it manually. From education. So now we have our education here, so we need to work with it. So here is the education. In education, what we're gonna do, just to make you a little bit quicker to understand, in the education we will have I think, yeah, this component and other components. So now, oh sorry, it's just doing a mistake. Yeah, now it's working. Sometimes it just stuck a bit. So now here you see that too will just contain a like a div, and then we're gonna create another two div, so it will be the same part. So instead of doing it separately, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just like a component wise, I will create that one div. Sorry, it's just giving me again the problem. I will just create one div, then I will create another div. Okay, and in the meantime I will keep one more div here which will give me that line, so it will consist 3 div. So let's begin to do it. So now to do that one, let's go to our okay, inside our education, this div, what I'm gonna do, it will be full, and after that I will take here another div, and inside that div I will create that. Now you see that two title, 2 and 2, like all the titles, the 4 titles is here is the same. So that things I'm gonna create, like if I take an h1 tag, inside that h1 tag, I can pass that title like what we have in h1 tag, one icon and then experience. So to create that one, just let me go through get one icon like that icon. So after having that icon, now in a span tag, I'm gonna just popping up this icon, and after pulling that icon also I will give the title. The title will be like experience. And now what I'm gonna do in that overall h1 tag, I'm gonna just go and popping up some of the class name. That will be my class name, text LG, text grade 300 uppercase, the similar class name of like others. And also for the span tag, I'm gonna just give some of the class name. So after giving that, as you see, we have our experience is the similar of that one. So instead of pulling it like we can actually make it dynamic, so we can use it wherever we want to use. And for that purpose, I'm gonna create another like resume title, and in here what I'm gonna do, this overall h1 tag I will just copy and then I'll paste it here. And also let's just save it, resume title, and we say if we save it will okay the okay, this is not getting there. Of course we will not keep it there, but for time being we need to keep it there because we will make it as dynamic. So now it is here. So what we're gonna do from the education, whenever we are calling, now we are also going to give like a, for that one it will be a first one, it will be like our experience. So and in here what we pass it as title and icon, so we will get the title icon. So now here we're gonna pass the icon and also we can pass here the title. So after passing it, you see that value is just fine. So now we can remove that one, that is not read. So that is our resume title is ready. And after resume title, what we can do in here, this overall div, because everything will be in a div, right? That will be one div, that will be one div, like one by one div, that will be 4 div consisting. So now we have the title. Now here we can put another 4 div. So first of all, in here I'm gonna give a grid, and also I'm gonna give a grid calls of 9, and then I'm gonna give a padding in x-axis of 6. So if we save, okay, that looks better. And also after that we will create another div, and that div will contain the other things. So first of all, to go to the, like as you see, in one there is a color and others there is not color, like this is that is not color anymore, only the first one having little bit color. So we need to make it as separated. Before separating, first let's create that div initially. So first of all we have a div, and then we will create one h6 tag, and where we will give like 2013 present wherever he's working, and then I'm gonna popping up on h2 tag, and inside that h2 tag I'm gonna just give the title, which will be developer, and then also I'm gonna just give a subtitle which will contain the position where he's working. So now that same I'm gonna put inside a p tag, and then in a lorem 15 I'm gonna just put that other information. So now if you come over here, that is our text, but it looks much more problematic. So what we're gonna do, this overall the entire div over here, like after the resume, I will give a class name and I'm gonna make it a like call span of 4, so it will take the 4 span of call. And also like after that div we will create another div, and also we'll create another div. And also for that div, what you're gonna do, you're gonna have a class name like it will be also call span of 4. So as you see that 2 will be 4, 1 will be just like 1, and in the meantime on the middle, that one we're gonna create for this one, because we need to create one line as you see, and in here we're gonna create the line inside that span tag. And for that we're gonna just go like, we will give a width of 1 pixel, so it will keep a straight line, and height will be full height, and the VG will be zinc 800, and it will be inline flex. So after we save it, as you see that line is available here, and the other part if we just copy that part, it will be same available here. Instead of keeping that one, what I'm gonna do, actually I'm gonna create another one, a resume card. So inside that resume card, now we can pull that one all over the div. We can just cut it, and now we can pop it up here, and here we put just resume card, and I think you will get the same setup. So now we need to give some class name for overall the things. So first of all, let's go in the resume card in the topper level on the div. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna popping up some of the class name for it, and it will be like a width full, padding in a Reactjs 6, flex scroll, just a simple setup of style. So now we see there is a little bit a border also in down. And also for the h6 tag, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab some class name. It will be fully border, and the border color is there as you see. But first of all, it will not be that. First one will be our that color. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna popping a different class name, because we will make it dynamic later on. So first of all, I will make it colorful, so just the border color will be changed, and later on for the h6, for the I think for the title we will be showing like what kind of job he's doing. So there I will popping up that one, and for the p tag which will contain the organization name, and the p tag which will contain the description, we're gonna also popping the same setup. So now as you see, that is just like that, and it's done. So now as you see, if we come in the education, if we just copy that another one, it will be same. So in that way we can actually work through. So now we can pass that all the info in the props, like as usual what we are doing in all over the components. And so I'm gonna just popping up all other cars is required over here, and as you see I'm also giving a badge. So whenever the badge will be empty, I'm gonna change the color of I'm gonna change the color again, whatever the badge it will be. If it's the false, the color will be different. If it's true, the color will be different. So I'm passing the badge over here. Now also for the other one, with the same pattern, I will do it inside that div. It will be the same setup as you see. Yeah, that is pouring up. So now we can change everything here. So here what we are passing? We are passing badge, title, subtitle, and description. So we need to just give that things over there. So go in the resume card and now pulling up that things. So first of all, in the class name, what I'm gonna do in the division, I will just go through it. I will say if there is a badge equal to empty, like if there is a no badge, there will be one certain kind of color, and if there is a badge, then there will be a certain kind of color. So now if the badge is equal to empty, we don't have that one. If it's not, I think, yeah, if badge equal to empty, it's gonna be this one. And if the badge is not empty, means there is some kind of props, it will be this one. Now if we save, you see, because we are passing the first one as an empty badge, so there is no data. So by that we are just pulling through it. So I think that will be just fine. And also in the education, like after the badge, here we can pass the title, so it will take the title it's required, and over here I think it will be subtitle, and of course it will be description. Now after we save, you see that all the details is now working. So now it's time to create our skill portion. So close the education part. So what I'm gonna do, again in the resume section, I'm gonna popping up my title again one more, and see it will be title, and my skills, I think it's fine, it will be there. Okay, now after that I need to create another folder called skills. In that skills we're gonna popping up the other items. So what I'm gonna do, in the resume I'm gonna create another file which will be contain my skills.js. Now in the resume, let's popping up the skills. So you will find the skills over here. Okay, now we can work through it. First of all, what we all have, there is that remember the resume title we create, that title is there for four portion, and that the other items we can popping up. So first of all, inside that skills, in first I'm gonna again pulling the same setup of I did it in the beginning. I will just divide in a 9 calls, then I'm gonna divide in a 4 calls. In that way I'm gonna work with it. So first of all, inside that div there will be 3 div, and the first one will be first one, and second one it will take a call span of 4, and the middle one which will contain the same setup. You can just copy from the other items we did, or you can follow through here, it will be the same. And here we're gonna pass a span tag. If we pass that one, as you can see, I think there will be nothing visible here because we need to pull the items over here. Now first of all, we need to create the resume title over here in the first div. So let's go resume title, and inside the title I'm gonna pass the title as design, and the icon will be, let's go popping up all the icons required for that. So our first icon will be that one. Yeah, this one. So now let's see, now it will be fine. See, the design is available here. In here we need to create that design portion. It will be all will be inside a div, then inside one p tag we will create that portion. So it will be very simple. So after below that title we will take another div, and inside that div we're gonna take another div, and inside that div we will take a p tag where it will be dev development, and after the development we will take a span tag, and inside that span tag we will take another span tag. So now for the p tag it will be simple, just we're gonna make that one. It's very simple text web development. So first of all, let's go to the overall in the top level. What I'm gonna do, give a class name py of 14. I'm gonna give a space to breathe a bit, and also I'm gonna, in the second tab over here, I'm gonna creating a border bottom of zinc. Now you can see there is a border, so you can decipher like the way it's there is a border in the bottom, so the same way it will be. So now here we need to make the changes. So what I'm gonna do, for the first span I'm gonna pulling up that class name. I'm making with full background of zinc, hide and inline flex. As you see, that one is here. Now we made it relative, so in over we can make that our overall below span as an absolute. I'm gonna give a weight of 95% because I have that kind of experience with that web development, so I have that 95% here. So there's a very simple and slick to create. So with that, including like we're gonna create all of that with that simple way. So first of all, I'm gonna just go through, and if you believe, I'm gonna popping up all of it from here. Let's go here. Yeah, so I'm gonna just popping up all of my, like for the web development, mobile application, or UI design. It's the same pattern of the design setup, you see. That's okay. So I believe it's 4. Yeah, that is 4. And also we have the 4 item, and also with the same set of item, we're gonna just take those things for our another one, our second div, which we have in the bottom. We'll just pass the same. We will take the title as a languages, and then we will pass the same kind sort of things. As you see, we have languages, we have designs. Now feel free to go and add coding and language by yourself. Okay, so I am adding this too. Now you can add this other two, this coding and knowledge, just having a bit of practice. So now we have our resume and about. If we go to the home, we have resume, we have about. Now we can create the toggle button. Remember, whenever we will toggle over here, by default, if we just refresh it, by default about will be here. If we click in the resume part will be visible, and then the project will be shown. So before creating others, we need to create that sort of functioning over there. So first of all, let's go in the top level of the div. I need to create some few pieces of a statement. Okay, in here I'm gonna just grab all of the properties I may need. For that I will create about. I made the set about as true, and other resume, set resume, all projects, blog, contact and sitemap also we're gonna create. And just now I'm gonna make it in common, because as you see, sitemap will come from here, it will pop up from the left. So now we need to, okay, I need to import the use state. Now those things gonna change in a certain way whenever we gonna, if we go to the icons, you see those the icons, and whenever we gonna click in the icons, that things will be pop up. So first of all, I will take an on click event. Now what it gonna do, whenever we gonna click on that event, whenever we're gonna click on that event, it will make set about. By default is true, also it gonna make as true. Okay, and in that way we need to work, and there it will not be a single condition, it will be a multiple condition in a single statement. What it gonna do, whenever we click, like we have here the about. Whenever we click in the about will be available. Whenever we click in the projects, whatever items is here, that will be false. Only the project will be visible. If we click in the contact, only the contact will be visible, others will be false. The same setup we're gonna create over here. So whenever we click in set about, it will be true by default, and it will be true, but other things, set resume, set projects, blog, contact, it will be false. Now here we can create a piece of statement, like we in here, like if about, if there is about section, what it gonna do, it gonna popping up those about for us, and it gonna give us. Now by default the about is there, so you can see the about is here. You can go through the console.log to check is it really true or not. I'm just going a bit of first. Now the same thing gonna happen for other one. If I go through in here, it will be resume. So what it will do, I will just make all the properties as false. I will just make resume as true. So now whenever the resume is true, what it gonna do, like make a condition over here. Whenever there is a resume, it will give us our resume. I think I made a mistake in the name. Yeah. So now if we go over here, there is now about is there. When we click in the resume, see the resume is there, about resume. Now we need to create that hover, like a little bit animation effect, and for that what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the framer motion npm. So let's go to framer, copy that and paste it over here. And in that framer motion, instead of keeping that in a single component, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep inside a div. If I keep inside the div, then I can put that motion over here. So first of all, I need to import that motion, otherwise it will not work. Motion from framer motion, and now I can make the div as motion.div. So what I want, I will set up one initial step, and initially what it gonna do, it gonna make an opacity of 0, and whenever I'm gonna animate a single opacity, it will be 1. And also I want to keep a transition to looks little bit cool, and what I want, that transition will be having a duration 0.5. I need to give the clone, so let's save it. And also the same thing I'm gonna, I think that's I did for about, I'm gonna also do for that one for our resume section. So let's copy that, make it a motion div, and now I think that will be just fine. So let's close it over here. We are in the about resume. Let's just refresh. I think something that looks odd. Is it working though? Okay. Now if we click, yeah, it's not working yet. Something is wrong where we made that wrong thing. So now if we have, that is our motion div. Oh, I think, yeah, now I find the mistake. So it will not be, whenever the about is here, it will be here, you know, not inside after that about. It will be okay, this and this. So it will be in mount section because I'm keeping it outside, so that's why it's not showing us the way it's supposed to be. It should be on inside, so I need to keep that on inside. So yeah, so now it will give us the things we are looking for, as you see. Yeah, so that is fine. It's just a simple silly mistake. You can just come up with it. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also set up all other functional things gonna happen. So after the resume section, we have another one which is called the project section. So let's go in our topper level. We have about, we have resume, we have that project. So in that project span also same thing will work, and the project will be true, all others will be false. And after the project we have the blog icon, and the blog icon will be pulling the same sort of things. And after the blog icon we have the contact icon. I'm gonna keeping the same as for the contact. Now we're gonna create with that on click, but once we'll make it responsive, we're gonna create with the React I think scroll. Yeah, with React scroll we're gonna make it. So now this is the thing. So first of all, let's go to here. We need to create some bunch of items. First one will be like what all of the things we have. After that we have our project. So let's create projects, and in here let's create a file, project.js. So it will be projects, and after projects we have blog and contact. So create another folder, blog.js, blog, and after that we will have contact, another file. So that will be our contact. So now I need to also create the other piece of state, which will be in the home below of that resume. It will be all of that. So let's get our blog and also get our contract and also our projects. So we have all of the items available right now. So if we just toggle through projects, because we didn't keep that components yet, blog and contact. So we need to create that 3 item. So to create that 3 item, first of all, let's go to our projects, close all others. So in the projects, I think now it will be very simple build. So because it's just very easy to make. In the projects, what we have just kind of bit of images and little bit a title and little bit animation going on. To setup will go there. So the same things we're gonna do. First of all, I'm gonna import all the images I require. So inside the projects, I will popping up all the images I need from my index file. That is the images I may require for. And also in here, remember we have a title. I'm gonna get that title over here. That will be my title. And what I'm gonna giving, I'm just pushing that resend, and subtitle will be the projects. Now after that, once you save it, you will see our recent projects. So now we need to, again, after in that div, you know what I'm gonna do in the topper label, I will do nothing on it. Okay, and I will keep another div, and inside that div I will create another div, and also I'll create another div. Now I can actually go and create a div. Instead of that, I'm gonna create a component from where I gonna get the things. I already created lots of same things, you may know. Project card. In here I will just pass that project card. Okay, so as you see, it will pop up here, project card is available. Now in that div, I'm gonna do the same way. I will use the grid pattern, so it will be a saving whenever we are making responsive, but I'm gonna make it grid calls of 2. And for that internally, actually when you see it over here, a little bit gapping from the div is there, so that gapping we're gonna give over here, just here px of 6. Yeah, that's better. So now in the project card, what we'll have, So let's go back in the project card. We have one title, category, and the image. So now what if, like, but without creating that one, as you may know, I already created a lot of things in that way. It's like reusing the components. I'm passing a title, blog website, category website, and also passing an image for that. So now in our project card, we need to get those items. Of course, we're gonna get those items in the props. Always make sure to make console.log before receiving that one. So I'm receiving this 3. So first of all, inside that div, I'm gonna create another div, and then I'm gonna place the image. So my first one will be my image, card image. If we go back here, you see that image is already shown over here. So what I'm gonna do, whenever you are going there, you see little bit hover effect is going on. So before creating that hover effect, I may need to work over here in that div. I'm gonna just go popping up some more class name for the div, because I need to show a border effect over here. Now you see I'm giving a full width and making it a column, and as it looks just like that, it looks much better. So after that, the image wherever is there, I need to create that effect. So first of all, let's go over here. By the way, after, because I make it a you see the flex call, because the items that will be here in the column. Okay, so after that div, when that div will finish, I need to create another div, as you see. And in that div, I can create, like, I can give h3 tag. In h3 tag, I will just popping up the title, and then I will give another p tag, and it will be like just category. And you will see those things are in the below. So now I need to just get a setup to it will be look like that. So what I'm gonna do, before I'm touching that image, I'll just popping up some of the class name for my h3 tag and some of the class name for my p tag. Actually, as it's in the same div, instead of keeping that, because we make it a flex call, we can just put that things directly in on the row, and I think it will be just fine. So it's working. So now in here, actually we need to create one thing. See, whenever we're hovering, something is popping up, a little bit gradient color is going on. So first of all, in the topper level of the div, I'm gonna just grab some bunch of class name. Okay, now as you see, it will take the entire with color, so it's also giving a hover effect. I made it a group. Now in here, before that div is finished, I'm gonna create another div, and that div I'm gonna like give a class name which will be full. I made the top div is relative, so I can make it an absolute div. So now I will make it absolute. Top will be 0, left will be 0, and now in here I will make a hover color which will be bg gradient. It will be gradient from top, and it will be from, I believe, green 600, via green 600, and it will be to green 200. So that will be a color, and the opacity I'm gonna keep is 20. So now you may see when we are hovering, because by default it will not be shown, right? Only wherever we are hovering, you see, we tell that we already describe over here, whenever we hover, that gradient effect will over here. So see, that is now popping up. So in that way we can create all other projects card we require. So I'm gonna take some more in my first project div. Like after that, I'm gonna take another 3. That should not be the projects card, it will be project card. So now as you see, if we go to our project, we have that one. So we have one div. Now here is the div is finished, so we will create another div, and inside that div we can keep the other thing. So also I give a class name, the px will be 6, and inside that div I'm just gonna popping up my other part, and I believe, yeah, the previously I put it as, if I remove that one it will just be fine. So now in the same way I keep another 4 div in my project. So now see, it looks much better, and it's the similar of the other one we created. So, and also if we go to project, we can see projects, we can go to resume, we can go to our about page. Now it's time to create our blog page, and the blog page, it will be the almost the similar, like just a simple setup will be going there. So let's go to our blog page to create, and of course I will just follow the same setup. I will just go through with it in the blog. What I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna take my title, which I'm using for every component, and auto import, and you see our latest post, which I'm giving the title. Now here the same setup will be followed through, which I use for the other one for the projects. Now in here I will put the same thing. It will be 2 div, and both div will contain just a class name, which will be class name px of 6. Now here I'm gonna popping up other thing, so I'll also create one more thing, which will be blockcard.js. So in here I will create all other things. So as you know, instead I will use some images for the blog. I will just import that images here. So this is my images, and also the block card, I'm gonna use transfile that properties for the block card. So I'm just pasting over here. So now in the block card we can actually got all over the items we pass. So we are passing the, if you see over here, we are passing one image, one title, subtitle, and category. So the same setup, we're gonna catch it over here, image, title, subtitle, and category. And as you saw beforehand, if I see a div and img, it will be image, blog image. Now if you go here, you see the first blog post is over here. So the same setup, so no need to waste much of the time. So I'm just gonna popping up all the class name for the first one, for the first div in the top level. So it's gonna be a flex call, and after that in the bottom div, which containing the image, so that will be the same way. And remember, after the image we will have another div, like after that image, because we're making a flex call. Now we can pull the items all part by part. So first of all, I'm going to give a span tag, and then inside that span tag I'm going to pull up the title. So as you see, I think our title is here. So now for the title, I'm going to just go grab some of the class name. Okay, it's text sm, and a little bit of designing going on, and you see that looks much better. And also after, like as we are taking everything in a div, in the topper level of the div, I'm gonna just make it a flex column and item center. I'm just giving a gap of 2, and after this span tag, I'm gonna inside an h2, I will just popping up the subtitle, and also after the subtitle I'm gonna popping up that in a p tag, it will be our category. As you see, it's right here. So what we need to do, we need to just create some bunch of class name, and that class name will contain first as that one. And you remember, I believe we make that entire div as a group. So whenever we are hovering, as you may come over here, whenever we are hovering, that h2, the title is getting the color is changing. So that things I'm gonna do, trying to do it here. So whenever the hover is there, that color is changing. And for the category, it will be just the simple one. So as you see, if we are hovering, yeah, you can also put that image shadow over here the way we did before. Like actually what we can do, just try to check if it's working or not. If we go to our project card, remember we used that div, so just copy that div. Let's see if it's working or not. So we're gonna popping up that div here and already make the relative. So I believe, yeah, see, that is working. And also like it's more greenery, give it a 10. Oh yeah, now it's fine. So we have our blog card is ready. So inside the blog we need to just popping up the other card. So what I'm gonna do, I will have I believe 3 or 4, I think 4. So I will pass that 4 card with the same title, and it will just popping up here. And after that, in the next div also I'm gonna have that 4 items. So the similar pattern, you can change the way you like. So now you see I have that 4 div. So I have my blog, I have my projects. It's time to make the contact. And remember, I will use the Getform to get the data we are submitting. So I'm gonna create account later on. So now here in the contact, let's go to contact. What we gonna do in the contact page, what we gonna do, where is our contact? Yeah, here. Now first of all, in the contact we need to get our title, that is for sure. So let's get our title, auto import. This is our title. This is working. Yeah, get in touch is ready. And now after the title, we're gonna create another div. Remember, we are having those things before everything, our address, email. So it will be just in a pattern of a p tag, and we will just store it in a bit. Inside that div I'm gonna give a p tag. That p tag will contain I will give a span tag, and it will contain the addresses. And after that span tag, before p tag is finished, like I'm gonna keep Muscat Oman, where I'm residing right now. So now we need to create that design from it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do in the topper label of the div, so in the topper label, I think instead of putting it here, I will put inside another div, because we have 2 actually. So we will make the 2 inside putting in a div. So first of all, in the topper label, I will just go and grab some class name and give it. So now we have 1 div. Now in here we need to make like if we just give a class name width of 1/2, the half actually, because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create that inside a div. I'm gonna divide it 2, and I will make it justify between, so that it will be separated, and inside one div that one, inside another div it will be that one. So 2 div will particularly cover my whole item. So that is what I'm gonna create. And now I have the p tag, and for the p tag I'm gonna just go and grab those class name. You can go through the class name one by one to understand it better. And also for this span tag, I'm gonna give that class name. So after I giving that, as you see, it looks just fine the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so now initially after the first one, what I'm gonna do after that p tag, remember we make justify between, I'm gonna popping up the same other one. As you see, it will be just work fine. I think okay, if I make it a flex, it will take, or if I give a full width also, it will work. Like give a full width. See, it's taking in a different way. Actually, I made a mistake to make you understand what I'm doing. I'm getting one in that div, one in that div. Okay, so now I'm making it flex because that one is getting the two flex and this is the one happening. Okay, so these two will be separately in two div, and that's the way I'm gonna create. It's my bad. I just tell you in a different method. So now I have that phone number and others, as you see this side by side. So now after that div finish, what I'm gonna do inside that parent div, because see I take a div of width of 1/2. In the same setup, I will take another div which will contain width 1/2, half of width, and the same email and the freelance availability will be go there, and it will be just like that. So I have that one. Now I need to popping up my contact form. So what I'm gonna do after that div, when the div is finished, I think yeah, below that div, so too much div here. So now what I'm gonna popping up, I'm gonna popping up another div, and also I'm gonna give a class name with a full. I will make it a little bit lower, margin top of let's give it a 10. Now it will not be shown here, of course, so I'm gonna popping up the title. It will be visible in a bit. So send messages the title, so that's the title. Now I need to pull up a form. After that I'm gonna make it form, and there will be no action, of course. Now the inside the form, what we have just a simple setup, three and also here you see that will be inside a div, so it will give a half up with the same way we did, and that one will be inside a div, and that is the outside of a div, just a button. So that setup we need to create. So first of all, let's get our div in the form. Let's create one div, and that div will take one input. Input will be the, I think yeah, first one will take the name. So, and you see there the error is showing by the border. So first one, I think the placeholder will be just like full name. So now see, that is fine. So now in that one, in the first input one, what we will do, we'll just go and grab some class name. So it's gonna be get the width of full, and just a kind of similar setup is going to give. So now it's taking the full width, and to make it a much more different, what I'm gonna do, see that div is taking the full width, right? So like if I'm gonna give a class name with a full. So now if I input another div on it, so it will take the both width and it will circulate separately, right? So I'm gonna do it just flex. If I give a flex, see it's taking separately in the same space, it's taking like together. So I'm gonna give a gap of 10, and I will make it justify in between. So now that is my, I think it should be ready. Oh, it didn't save. So now it's that div is ready, and that one is coming from that. See, whenever we focus visible, just a kind of simple CSS, nothing else. So now first one we have name, second one it will be email, and that one will contain the email address. And now after that div, like when the div is finished, we need to add another text area, and we will not put the ID and name. What we're gonna do, we're gonna give a rows of 4, and in that text area I'm gonna just popping up all the same functionality over here. Okay, so as you see it will be the same way, the same. And for that, what we will do, remember in the parent div over here, I think not the parent div, in the from we can actually work. So because we need to give a gap on it, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce a class name over here. So it will be, width is already full, so I'm gonna give a padding of 6, give a little bit room, flex, it will be flex column, and the gap will be 6. So once you do that, a little bit gapping over here, and this resizer need to be I think it need to be disabled. So what I'm gonna do, resize none, so it will not be there for sure. So the resize, it will go, so now it's no more resize. Now we need to get our button. After the text area, we'll just give the button, and in the button we will just having I think one text, send message, and then inside a span tag we're gonna have a if I send, let's import that one. I believe I made a mistake here, so let's put it here and put it there. So now it will be fine. So that is our send message button. So now for the button, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also introduce some kind of class name to look it much better. I'm giving the text and width so that it will be in here. And now for that I think for the span tag, for the icon, I'm just giving a little bit lower, margin top 1, and giving the design color. So see, now it looks better. Now whenever we click, we need to see it's working by default, okay? And also I think in the send message we need to use a placeholder. See, there is no placeholder, so let's go in our send messages here, put the placeholder. So we have our your message. So now we need to create a handle function, on click function. So now on click it will be handle send. So now we need to use that function in the top level. So here handle send. Now let's create a function. It will take an event. First of all, it will prevent the default behavior. Remember, whenever we click is submitting, so now it will stop. So now no more submitting. And now we need to see, whenever we click in here, you see the error is showing. So we need to, but whenever we are typing, the error is gone. So now we need to create that kind of state. First of all, what I'm gonna do in my input, first of all, let's get through our like the status I'm gonna create, because if you see my previous video as Amazon clone and others, I'm using the same setup. So first of all, I'm gonna declare some of this state, which will be client name and email, and the first take that user state. I'm just setting up the client name and email and messages, which will contain in that three field, client name, email and messages. So by default it will be empty. And also I'm setting up another 4 item which will contain my like error client name and also error email, error messages, and also I'm gonna show a success messages. As you see, I think beforehand you saw that, like if I type my email, if I type something, I have a success message. So that's the one we're gonna create. So we also need that success message. So now we have that our state, and now what we need to do, we need to create that function which will handle everything. So now first of all, let's go to our first input. First input is like our name, so it will be on change like handle name. It will handle name, and the value will be client name. And now for the second one, it will be the same setup. It will be handle email, and the value will be email. And also for the last one, it will be messages, which will be handle messages. The value will be messages. Now in here, what I'm gonna do, I need to create that on handler function, which will revalidate the progress for me. So first of all, let's const handle name, and in here it will take an event. Oops, it's should be that. So here what I'm gonna do, set client name. You can make a console.log to see how input is getting or not. I'm just setting the whatever input I am typing here, I'm putting inside an inside that state as a client name, I'm setting that client name e.target.value. Whatever things I'm typing here, whenever I click, it will setting up that one. So I will take whatever I'm typing, that event, as a set client name. And also what it will happen, that later on we can do actually, or you can just go through it later on and you will understand. I will make the set error client name false. So whenever I have that like I'm typing something over here, as you see, that error message, like I have an initial error message, whenever I'm typing, that is gone. So either you can show the error in bottom, below, or some other way. I'm just changing the like the border color for this program. So now I need to create another two handler, which will be my email and messages. The same setup I am doing it. And now in here, in my handler function, this handle send function, what I need to do, I will just create some simple logic. If there is no client name given, then what it's gonna do, it will do like set error client name, it will be true, because I'm not popping up any kind of email text. That's why I'm just putting the same one. Now if there is no email, also what it's gonna do, it's gonna set error email true. By default, all the error is a false, all the error value is false. So I'm just setting up as a true whenever I'm facing that validation error. So if there is no messages, also it's gonna set error messages, it gonna popping up as true. Now I need to popping up another condition. If I have that like the client name, and also I have that email, right, and also I have the messages, then what it's gonna do, then I'll make it just console.log. I will just get the client name, I'll get email, and I'll get messages. So let's see if it's working or not. If everything is right, it should work. So whenever I'm gonna click on that button, it's gonna work. I think if we refresh, it should go. I don't like to see any error in my console. So let's go to contact. Don't freak out for that if you see a little bit mumbo jumbo, because we're gonna fix it whenever we are doing that responsiveness. So let's get no any type of test. If we click, see, I can view that, but after I click, I need to remove that value, right? And remember, we already put that as a setup as a value, email or name, so we can follow through that. Like what I'm gonna do, set client name will be empty, set email will be empty, and set messages will be empty after doing that. So give a refresh over here. Of course it will get about by default. So let's go to our, just type anything. Okay, so it's gone. So I need to set up the error now, like whenever the error is happening. And by the way, there is another thing is happen. We need to validate our email, right? Because see, whenever you are keeping anything, there is no validation, either is email or not. We need to validate our email. Before that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce some class name over here. Like we will just change the border color if we have some issues. Like in the input, we will just popping up all of it. We will just cut it, and now we're gonna put in a functional based way. So now we can access it. If there is the client name is available there, what is gonna happen, there will be some class name, and if there is no client name, there will be some class name. And that class name, if there is that client name, like if a client name is available, like the error is available, what is gonna happen, and it's not available, what is gonna be happen. That's the same pattern we are giving. So I'm gonna remove that border and border those portion. So now as you see, if we click, okay, let it be refresh. I think I made some mistake again, maybe. Yeah, I made some mistake. So first of all, let's remove that one. It will, oh sorry, it will not be like if there is error client name. Okay, so whenever there is a error client name, I want to be border red and focus visible the border red, and whenever there is no error, it will be just a normal setup. So if I refresh that one, like I didn't put any text in my name field, if I click, see, it's showing the error over here. If I start typing, it just disappear. So now the same setup I'm gonna use for my other, like for the email also. It will be the same way, same way, and then the messages, it will be the same, and that will be for the messages. You can just pause the video to see and understand it better. I'm just going much more faster, otherwise I cannot cop up. It will be much more lengthy. I think it's almost more than 2 hours I am capturing, so you feel free to go slow. Okay, there is no issue with it. So now if I go through here, wow, what I did wrong, I made some mistake again somewhere. Oh ho 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 ho. Instead of keeping here, I keep in otherwhere. okay, sorry. So yeah, now it's better, and also I need to make it the resize none. Okay, so now if I click, see the error. If I am just type, error gone, type error gone, type error gone. After typing, it's reducing. So I need to create the email validation, and to validate the email, we need the regex. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create here the email validation. See, I already keep the markup, so it will start here, it will end here. So in between that space, we're gonna create email validation, and that will be simply a function which will be email validation, and then it gonna take our email as a subjective metaphor, and then what it gonna happen, it gonna return, what it gonna return, a string which will take our email and it will make to lowercase, and after doing lowercase, what it gonna do, it gonna match with the regex. And what is regex? You can just go in the Google and just write that, I think, yeah, regex for JavaScript, and then you will find whatever is required. Okay, so I'm not gonna explain that regex to you, just go and search, you will find it. Now I'm gonna pulling off my regex, which I pay for already. So that regex gonna be, and it gonna validate our email. So now what I'm gonna do, remember I put a setup of email error. So else, and there is if again, if email validation containing our email, if there is no email validation, set error email true. That's it. And then also we need to click it here, email is there, and also email validation, and our email is popping up. So after that, so now if we come over here, error is here, I type my name, I type something, see, error is showing here, I type again that, error is showing. You just simply can click the text and it will go. So now it's okay. Now whenever we click, we need to send we need that information to us, right? So whenever someone send that data, we want that information. So let's go to our Getform. We're gonna open up one account. Let's go to .com, and oh no, sorry, I need to sign up. sorry. So AD, so no, I don't want to receive. So let's create, and I believe they will send me as an, okay, that is my email. So let's go over here. Now see, I already got a verification, so let's verify that, and after cancel. So now I am getting over here now whatever the things I need, okay, you feel free to go to Getform's documentation to read whatever the things you require. First of all, I will create my collection and I will give just a portfolio. It's you, and I will select my time zone from the Asia, and I think Dubai will be good. Now here I need to get that endpoint, so I will delete it. If you use your project, it will not work, so you create your own. Okay, so then actually you need that one to work for, so I copy that one. Now here what I'm gonna do, in the form, to use the git form, I need certain kind of things to be attached. I need to give a ID, and ID will be containing as a from, and then I need to also give an action, and that action will contain my that portion, remember that ID, so it will go and give that endpoint. And also I think the method will be post, the post will be capital letter. And after happening that, we need one more thing, we need the Axios, you know, sorry, I need to make npm I Axios, because whenever you want to post or get some data, it's always better to use the Axios. So now in Axios, what we gonna do, whenever like everything is okay, we are getting all the things, before making it empty, what I'm gonna do, Axios dot post, and I'm gonna post the data over here. And what I'm gonna passing an object so that header can find me. So the object, the name will be name will be the client name, and the email will be email. Again, email, yeah, and the message will be messages. So those are the things it will go over there. So now, and after that also we need to set up a success message, which will be that message like hello there, the client name, then your messages has been sent successfully, thank you for your time. So now also in the form, what we can do, actually we can show up the success message. First of all, that entire, whenever the success message is available, we want to remove that entire form. Okay, so cut that one. So like if success a message is available, what it gonna do, it gonna give a p tag, and then it gonna popping up that success message. And if there is no success message, it's gonna pop up the entire form. So now in that success message we pop up, I believe that one is here. Okay, we put a comment over here so we will understand. So now in here for the success message, I'm just going to grab some class name to looks it much better. Okay, now it's the moment of truth. Now if we do everything right, we should receive our whatever we send over here. Axios need to import. Oops. We are already initializing it, but we didn't import it. That's a mistake. So Axios from Axios. Now I'll have to make a refresh before I start, because it's gonna be plain. There is something going on, also remove that one. So now contact form is here, the validation going on, like this is the first test messages. Now when we send, see, I received the like hello there is getting the client name or Muhammad, your messages has been sent successfully, thank you for your time. Now in our portfolio, see, we receive our message, who sent and what is the email and the messages. Now initially you can put as much as the input form you want, and you will get the same result initially. Now as you see, there is a little bit icon over here. We need to fix that issue because it's not looks nice without that icon. I will just get my logo from my previous file, and in the public folder I'm gonna paste it here. And also in the index file I'm gonna change that setup. So first of all, in here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a small logo.co, and also I will make it available if anyone giving it from the iPhone. And for that title, I will change also, I will popping up that title. Now if you go, Tara is changed. So now it's everything is right. So if we can, I can see resume, I can see projects, I can see blog, blah blah blah. Now whenever we're clicking here, we need to initialize that one, right? So to do that, I think that is working fine, so feel free to use that one. So let's go to our home. We're gonna create that one in our home. Okay, so that will be very simple. You can be easily do that one. Remember, we create one home icon beforehand. If we go back to our home, it will be in the top. We already put a comment over here, that is our home icon. So here, let's open that one, and now here we will create an on-click function, and that one will be it will make set site nav true. And now after finishing that, like in here, we can just keep that I'll just popping up that, and also it will be end. So now what do you want? Whenever the site nav is available, we're gonna popping up a div, and inside that div we're gonna like hello. So whenever the site nav is available, and also to just to see actually is available or not, I'm gonna just popping up some of the class name for it. So if we go over here, if we click, see that's background, so site nav is working. Just to refresh that one. So now I'm gonna just a bit of quick on it. So I'm gonna get another div over here, and in that div I'm gonna just go and grab some class name for it, and inside that div I'm gonna create another div, and here it's gonna be our site nav. So for the site nav, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go my home project, and then I'm gonna create my sitemap.js rafce. Now in here I'm gonna pull up our sitemap, and also for that div, what I'm gonna do, you can just feel free to go with the class names I'm putting over here. So that will be our sitemap. Like if we click, that is our sitemap. And also we need to initialize one like one span which will contain the other one. Like inside that div, inside the sitemap, we will create another span tag, and that span tag will contain the md outline clause. And for that span tag, I'm just gonna popping up some bunch of class name to looks it pretty good. So now you see that is our span tag. And now whenever also we're gonna click make an on click event over here. So whenever we will click over here, it will make the set site nav as false. So now we click, it's gone. We click, it's coming, gone. So now we will also make it as a overall div, as a motion div, like motion.div. So now whenever we are making it motion, let's go and putting some initial properties. So the same way we did it before. Now you see it's coming. Wow, it looks slick. Okay, why is getting delay? Okay, I think I don't know from where that error is showing. It is okay, skill. Where is our skill? I think it was in my resume. Yeah, skills. there is okay, those icons we didn't use actually. Okay, now our console looks much better. So now we have the sitemap. Now everything we need to work on the sitemap. So let's go to our sitemap. We will popping up everything over here. Okay, first of all, as you see here, there is a kind of title going on with a little bit word, then the other text is coming. So we need to create that simple position for it. First of all, let's go here and we're gonna create another file called sitemap title.js RAFCA. So inside the title, what I'm gonna do, like I'm gonna popping up those things over here like the before we used to do. Let's get the title over here. I'm just passing the title and subtitle. So now in here we can access the title and subtitle. So first of all, in here, instead of div, I'm gonna take just an h1, and inside that span I'm gonna use that title, and after that span I will create that as a subtitle. Of course, I need to pop this here, title subtitle. So if we save, you will be seeing our title is here. Now we need to look much more better that one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna popping up some of the class name for our entire h tag, make a little bit smaller so that you can see that one. Okay, yeah, now looks better. So now let's save it, and after that it looks better. So for the span, the first letter, we need to change the color for the first letter. So let's go to our title, and you see that looks better. So I think we need to create that overall small div over here. So for that one, already we prepared beforehand, like we created several times. So inside the h1 we will just give that one, and I believe that will be did you save that one? Okay, let's popping up in that way. Okay, so we need to clarify that one in a bit. So in the sitemap we need to work a little bit. We need to give a padding and other following through. So what I'm gonna do, in the topper level of the div, I'm gonna introduce some of the padding in x-axis and y-axis. Now you will see that thing is available over here. Now my thing is, why I cannot see that design? I already provide whatever the items is require. Okay, I'm gonna popping up those class name again. Maybe it will be fine. Okay. No, it's not a matching. Okay, I made it absolute. Also I made it relative. Gradient to, okay, gray, inline block, rounded. Anyway, because it is supposed to be look like that, but that div we cannot get that one. I don't know, maybe something we are missing in some way. First of all, it will be inside the h1 tag. There will be span tag, and after the span tag there is a subtitle, and after that subtitle there is our span, which is with a 8 height 8 gradient 2, and from design color, okay, inline block, rounded, full, absolute. Okay, what if okay, what if we give a z index of 10? Yeah, it's because of the z index, which you might keep -10, that's why it's not showing up. So now we have our sitemap title. Now after the title we need to work with that. What we're gonna do, actually we will just create some further kind of list which will contain all the items. So now to do that, I'm gonna come over here. After the title, I'm gonna take the UL, and also I'm gonna take a li, and first of all I'm gonna create that block. Now as you see, there will be lots of list items. So what I'm gonna do in the CSS of my index.css, I'm gonna popping up one of the class name which I'm gonna use for all over that for the li over here. So now if we go over here, you see I keep a class name which Sitemap li. You can just go and familiar with that class name. I think it's the same of beforehand. So now let's copy that one, this class name, paste it here, and after pasting, see, it's working just fine. I'm not just duplicating that one because it's not looks so good to do it again and again. So that's why I'm just popping up that one. And in the sitemap, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna popping all other properties part by part. So now I have that tool for one, and after that I will have another title bar which will come like the projects will show up, and in here I have another UL which will contain my all other, like the development, others, and everything. Like see, it's working. So in that way I'm gonna popping up all other necessary, the related items which is required. So now I have, so also that you see the scroll, that scroll we are actually popping up in the, I think in the home, in the side here actually we are doing it, that we create beforehand. Yes, in here in the motion div we are actually giving the overflow y scroll and scroll bar thin and thumb. So that's the things is coming over here. Now whenever you click, it's going. Also whenever you click in the middle, it's going. So we need to, it's not happening here, only whenever we click it's going. So we need to create that piece of state, and we will create that in our home tab. And to create that we need our friends from the React, the useRef. So const ref equal to useRef, I think the use reference, yeah. So we will use that one, and the reference will be the reference of our like yeah, in our motion div which are using, that will be our reference. So the ref equal to it will be our that reference. So now catching those reference we will work. First of all we need to create, we need to get use effect for that, because that reference can be changed. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna write a simple piece of state on it, and that will be, we need to catch the, like we will just make a document dot body. We will create an add event listener, and that one will be click. So whenever we will click in our body, it will deliver a function. Oops, yeah, and that function will take an event, and that event we need to catch. So now if I'm just gonna popping up, so you can feel free to just go and just see if target e.target dot. Okay, first of all what I'm gonna do, first of all let's go here and console.log e.target, and also we're gonna pass an empty array. So let's see what is giving to us. So wherever we are clicking, it's giving whatever we are clicking, right? That target. So now what we need to do, e.target, like we will write a condition if e.target dot contains our reference dot currents. If that contains, then console.log, it will be like inner, like is inside, else console.log out. So let's go over here. Of course we need to make a refresh, we're using the use effect. Now when we click, it's out, it's not there. So whenever we click, is, you see, this is the inside, because that's the inner div we need to focus. Whenever we click here, that need to be gone. This is the out. Whenever we click here, it should stay, but whenever we click here, it need to be gone. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take our first statement, okay, and that first statement, what we need to do, set sitemap will be false. And now if we go and you see that is working much better. So now we have our about section, we have our resume section which we can toggle through, and we have our project. You can go and view the project. We have our blog section over here, we have our contact, and we can access that with the getform.io. I think that's broken. Let's go here and how is broken? Let's go in the contact and okay, here we made some mistake. Maybe if the client name, error client name is there, it will be supposed to be, but we didn't pass anything. How it's not showing? Okay. Okay, we just make one refresh over here. Maybe we made some. Okay, it's only 2 is showing. It's because could be possible, like, okay, set if error message, else if okay, set error client name will be true. If there is no client name, it is true. And also in here we have our email, and we have our, where is our from? Yeah, that's the handle name and the error client name. If there is error client name, the border will be there. Okay, if error client name, the border. Okay, I think we are missing a piece of state maybe. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna popping up that item from there. Let's see if it solved the issue or not. Okay, I think it will be just a minor mistake. Yeah, it's working. I think some minor mistake in the CSS, that's why it was not working. So now you have everything, and also after submitting the item, whatever you are giving, you are receiving the success message. So feel free to do all those things, because after finishing that one, we are going to make it responsive. So if you can make it responsive, let me know in the comments below. If you cannot, that also let me know in the comments below, then I will do it for you. So all the best to make your portfolio. See you in next video.